Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be making another turban, and today's turban is made out of fabric that does not stretch. There's no stretch. Last time we made one out of knit fabric and it can stretch. So what this turban has is it has these gathered right here and it has tiny pleats. It also has an extra separate headband piece that you join. It also has elastic at the back, so this will be easy to fit. It is also large enough, you can just tuck it in if it's too big and it will fit perfectly. So let's go ahead and start making this beautiful turban. Let's get started. In order to make the turban, you will need a pattern. I do have this pattern on my website. You need to go there and download it. I will put the link in the description bar. It will be a two-piece pattern and you just join these papers, then cut. Once you cut it, this is how it's going to look. You will have two pieces. You'll have one piece that's like this and one piece that's like this. So this piece right here is the main bonnet, the main turban part, and this piece right here is this headband piece that I showed you guys when I was telling you that this turban comes with an extra headband piece. And this pattern is not the same as the one that we did on the turban with a bow, the knit one. They are two different patterns. So download and cut and get these two pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my fabric, one piece like this and another piece like this one. This is my beautiful fabric that I'm going to be using, and of course, you know your girl, I am using some Ankara African print fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off camera real quick and I will be back once it's done. I am done cutting my two pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece right here and I am going to put it aside and we are going to work on this one. So what we are going to do, first of all, we are just going to make it look like there are two pieces, but in reality it's one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half, right sides facing each other. The wrong side should be up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my serger and I'm going to sew one straight line. Let me show you what I mean. I am going to sew this line right here. This is optional. If you don't want to, you don't have to do it. But I like the look that it makes it look like a two-piece and it adds some type of look to the turban. So I'm just going to go ahead real quick and use my serger and just sew a straight line. Right, so this is how our piece looks like after I used a serger. It looks like there are two pieces, but in reality it's just one piece. So we are done with this for now. We are going to take this piece. So what we are going to do is we are going to fold it in half, and this time not right side facing each other. We're just going to use the outside should be out, which means the wrong sides will be on the inside. So we're going to fold it in half and we are going to sew a straight stitch using a regular sewing machine, and we are going to use half seam allowance. I'm going to repeat that. We're going to use a regular straight stitch using a normal sewing machine with half seam allowance, half an inch of seam allowance. So I'll be back. We are done with sewing our straight stitch. So this is the tricky part. You don't need to turn this inside out, or turn it around inside out. What you're going to do is you're going to leave it as it is, but you're going to take whatever you use to mark and your tape measure. So you're going to measure 10 inches and a half from here to where 10 inches and a half is, which mine is right here. So I am going to put a mark right here. And I'm also going to do the same thing on this side. I am going to measure 10.5 and put another mark right here. Once I'm done, this is the tricky part, I am going to take my elastic piece. This is exactly 5 inches. So I'm going to take my piece with my safety pin and I am going to insert it inside. So I want you to take a look at what I'm doing and pay a little bit of attention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here and start pulling it in. So now it has disappeared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to still put it in, but feel it to at least where it's right here, where this end part, you see this end part should be around this part. So as I go, I am going to feel where it's reaching. So now I know it's right here. And be careful that it doesn't pass here because you'll have to start again. So now I can feel it, it's somewhere here. Be careful. Now it's right here. Now it's right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to sew a straight stitch going down here so I can lock it in so it doesn't move around. So a straight stitch right here, and I'll be back. I have sewn my straight stitch. I went 4 times back and forth so it's secure. So the next step is we are going to pull the remaining all the way outside. I want you to be very, very careful and look at what I'm doing. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just keep inserting and pull, and do not forget where our mark is, which is right here. So keep doing that all the way outside. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this pin out. Once you have taken it out, you are going to start pulling a tiny bit. Make sure you're holding on to the elastic, but also letting go of the fabric until we reach where our mark is. So be very careful not to let go of the elastic, because once you let go, you will have to start again. So just be very careful. Here, this is our mark, right? This is our mark. This is where the end of our elastic is. So we want to reach until a little bit here so we can sew a straight line, a straight stitch and secure. So pull just a tiny bit. Let's see. This is where my elastic ends. This is where my line. I'm going to pull a little bit more. Elastic line. Yeah, right there. So this is where my elastic ends. You see? And this is where my line was. So I'm going to sew a straight stitch right here so I can secure the whole elastic part. So I'll be back. I have done my straight stitch back and forth as usual. Make sure it's secure as possible, and I'm just going to adjust the elastic so it's evenly distributed. So this is the elastic on our headband piece. So the following step is we are going to bring back our main piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure this seam is facing down, and we're going to put this up here. And what we're going to do is we are going to put these two together, and we're going to go ahead and join them. And when I'm joining these, what I like to do is I like to take a few inches off, just like a tiny few inches first. Now we are going to join this piece and this piece. So as you can see, it's a little bit larger, which is better than it would have been smaller. So you just want to make sure they are even. We will cut these out once we are done. So what you want to do is you want to take your clips, make sure these two are joined together. So we are going to go to our serger and sew these two together. If you don't have one, you can just use your normal sewing machine. We have already attached our headband piece to the main turban piece. So the next thing is we are going to take our regular hand needle and we are going to do a gather stitch from here to here, like this way around. By now I think this is something you all are familiar with, so just gather. And this time I am not, in our previous turban tutorial I was doing tiny I was leaving tiny spaces, but with this one I'm going to make them a little bit big. So just up, down, up, down, and keep going. I've reached the end, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosely, I don't want it to be tight, I'm just going to loose it a little bit by just pulling, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half, and the inside should be outside by now. I'm going to make sure that this is our half, because when we saw a straight stitch we want it to start here to right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my needle and close everything up. So just gonna do that. And we are going to cut this out. So the last step is we are going to sew a straight stitch from here all the way to here. So you can use your sewing machine and serger. So what I do is I normally do a straight stitch with my sewing machine, then close up with my serger, because neatness is what matters the most when you're doing your work. So let me just finish up and I will be back. I have finished. I did sew a straight line with my regular sewing machine 4 times to make sure everything is secure. Then I finished up with serger so it can look neat and as professional as possible. So our last step is we are going to finish by adding an elastic right here, this tiny piece. So what you're gonna do is I am just going to measure 4 inches. I'm going to measure 4 inches from this part, not from here, from here to right here, 4 inches, and I'm going to put a mark. Then I am going to take my tiny elastic, and I'm going to measure 2.5 for this one and cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this elastic to our turban. So I'm going to start sewing right here, and I sew. I am going to pull the elastic, so it's going to be a regular straight line, but I am going to start right here, and as I go I am going to pull so it fits. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So our turban is done. It's completely beautiful, all professional looking like that. Okay, so before I finish up, I want you all to understand that my patterns that I use and I give you guys to print out are made by myself. So I am not a professional. I am just giving you guys an idea of how you can make your turban. So what I want to emphasize is that my patterns are not the Bible. You can adjust them to your needs, meaning if your head is bigger, add an inch to this side and this side. If your head is smaller, take down few inches. It doesn't have to be exact the same and start complaining that it doesn't fit. Just make it according to your needs. The other reason that I'm saying this is because we probably use different types of measurements. Let us say I say 1 inch. This is my ruler, right? It says 1 inch is from here to here, right? This is my tape measure. It says my inch is from here to here. You see, we are using different types of measurements, and some people might be even using centimeters. And let us say even tape measures, they are different. Look at this. This is 1 inch, and this is also 1 inch, but this is a little bit smaller than this one. So whatever measurements you use, they might not be exactly as mine, and it might turn out a little bit big or a little bit small. So just adjust it, make some changes so it can fit your own head. So this is all I have for today, but I also have these tiny baby turbans. Let me know if you guys want a tutorial for them. They are completely different, as you can see, different style. This is a bow, this is a knot. They are completely, and they are very cute. Let me know if you guys want a tutorial for the baby turbans as well. So I am done for today, and thank you guys for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. And as I usually say, if you are going to be making this for personal use, enjoy it, and if you're going to be making it for business, go make that money. Bye guys.